In today's video, I'm making a springy set of cards using this month's SheetLoad Rewind. Hey, it's Beth. Welcome. Today is the SheetLoad Rewind day for April of 2026. And if you are completely new to SheetLoad of Cards, it is a PDF that Call Me Crafty Al puts out every single month. It has a card sketch, supply list, cutting guides, everything you need to help you make a set number of cards. The style of cards changes, throughout the year, each month throughout the year, and the size of the paper changes, the number of cards it makes changes, so you're not doing the same thing every single month. It's just a great way to make a quick batch of cards. And this month, the rewind just means that when the sketch comes out, it is available for free for a certain amount of time. After that, it goes into the vault and is not accessible for free anymore unless you are a paid member of Call Me Crafty Al's channel. Then you can have access to the archives. However, each month, Alicia pulls out a sketch from the past, from the vault, and makes it accessible again. So this month, we're working with the April 2023 SheetLoad. It is a 6x6 paper sketch, and it is a no scrap sketch, which is always a win in my book. But if you do not have the April 2023 SheetLoad, please check the link in the description box below so you can get access to it. It is only accessible for a limited time, and then it's going to go back into the vault and, not never to be seen again, but it's not going to be available for free any longer. I am going to be, also in the description box below, there's a playlist linked, and there are a bunch of us that are playing along with the SheetLoad from April of 2023, so you can get some inspiration and ideas and see what we all do with it. I have 2 sheets pulled out from the Bunnies and Bloom pad from Simple Stories. It's one I've been working on using up this month, and it's 6x8. I don't yet know if I'm going to try and use the full sheets or just cut it down to 6x6 and use that. It kind of depends on what kind of embellishments I can find to use with it to determine how many cards that I'm going to be able to make. So that's the paper. I haven't quite figured out the plan yet, so I will go do that, and we will come back and work on creating our cards. I thought I'd throw this in here. I wanted different sentiment for each one of my cards. And so instead of, I didn't feel like stamping them all individually. And because of the size, there's only a couple stamping blocks that I could use. So I would have had to stamp, clean it, take it off, stamp, clean the stamp, take it off. And so I was feeling lazy and decided to just stamp them all at one time. I am using the Heartfelt Sentiment stamp set from Altenew, and it has like a great variety of like thinking of you kind of sentiments. So just thought I'd throw this in there as my hack for today. So I ended up cutting just enough for 6 cards. One thing I did differently from the cutting guide was I cut all of those 3-inch squares from the same pattern, and then that strip that goes along the side, I cut it from the same pattern so that the base part of all 6 of my cards are going to look exactly the same, but then the embellishments will end up being different on all of them. So I'm showing you here kind of how I usually work when I do SheetLoad, very much an assembly line process. This is just how I work best. So I'm adding adhesive to the back of all the squares, and then I do 3 at a time just because of the size and the space that I have on my desk at the time. If it's smaller pieces, you'll see me go ahead and add adhesive to like all the pieces at once. So all of my floral pieces are on, and so now I'm going to go ahead and add the pink gingham. And you can see I basically used 2 sheets of the same paper. The one side was that pretty yellow rose pattern, and then the other side was the pink gingham. And I thought the pink kind of gave a nice break to the yellow, but it was still part of the pattern of the yellow roses, so it still coordinates really well. So I'm going to go ahead and add this strip to all of the pieces. So I went with a white matte layer for these, and then I am going to be adding a double, like 2 additional matting layers, which the sketch did not call for. So I have a black mat that is going to go right behind that pattern paper piece, and it is 1/4 of an inch bigger than the white mat size that's on the cutting guide. And then for the yellow pieces, it's just 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, just so that there's a little white border on my A2 size cards. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble all of these the same way. And then once that's done, I will be able to add all of my embellishments. The bases of my cards are all assembled. So now I'm just going to take the 6 sentiments that I had stamped and trimmed down and am adding that little angle, kind of, it's a reverse angle from what I would normally cut. So it's something a little bit different, which is kind of nice and refreshing. But I'm just cutting the little angle on the right hand side. And then I have just kind of a handful of embellishments that went with the yellow, and some of them, I guess a lot of them are larger, which is what I was wanting. Some of them are medium size and some are small. So I'm kind of combining some of the smaller ones with the medium and large. So trying to get kind of the same general focal area decorated on each of the cards, kind of to the left, just like what the sketch calls for. And then there are times where some of the pieces are, or even parts of some of the pieces are underneath the sentiment, and then some are over the top. And there are a couple that kind of are both. Part of it is underneath the sentiment and part of it overlaps the top a little bit. I tried not to think too much about the decorating. Sometimes this is where I really get in my head about maybe realistic scenes. It's card making. A lot of time the embellishments are not even maybe normal colors of the items, so it's not giving off any kind of realistic vibes anyway. But I don't know, for some reason that's the one part that it's a sticking point in my brain. So I tried to not think too much about it and just kind of find pieces that seem to work together, that maybe didn't necessarily create a scene, but just created a feeling or a vibe. I don't know. So that was my very random thought process for this part of the card making. Here I have a sticker and a die cut, so kind of, and in some cases I was also using chipboard accents, so it's kind of a variety of types of embellishments that I use too. I was just trying to use up some of these that worked with the colors. I'm going to overlap the flowers on this one. And then on this very last one, I wanted to use the rain boots. Kind of struggled with what to do, what else to put with the boots. I thought they needed something more than just the boots. So I kind of play around with some different options here. I even bring in a sheet of puffy stickers that I had left. Kind of audition a few different things and then ultimately go back to my original combination just in a different order. So I will eventually use that rainbow kind of behind the boots to the right and then a little flower. So again, was in my head, like was getting stuck on it, but was trying not to. Was trying to just like let it go, kind of see what works balance wise and just go with that. So we all have our struggles, and this happens to be one of mine. So anyway, this finishes up that last card. Here is a look at all 6 of my cards together. I really like the black, that double matte behind the pattern paper. It just kind of, it makes the rest of the card pop a little bit. So hope you guys got some inspiration. Please be sure to check the description box for the links below. Thank you so much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.